and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. Thanks for joining me here today. One of the most frequent questions I get asked is, how do you zinc plate a die-cast car? I've got a list of things here we're going to need, such as distilled white vinegar, a container to put the zinc plating solution in, some sea salt, a zinc anode, such as the little strip in front of you there or in the rolls. We're going to need some wires with alligator clips, a D-cell battery, some electricians tape, and quite possibly we'll need an aquarium pump. This will help get your bubbles off the car as it's plating. I'll have a list of these things in the comments section of the video, and then we can get started. First thing we need to do is pour the distilled vinegar inside the container. Now your container needs to be deep enough in order to submerge your car or truck completely. So fill it up to the top, or close to the top. Again, make sure that you've got enough room to submerge it. And then you're going to use approximately 3/4 of a cup of sea salt. This will help build your electrolyte solution. Once you get those mixed together and dissolved, then we can start. Once you have your salt dissolved into the vinegar, you're going to need to put a zinc strip inside of the container. You need to let that sit for approximately 6 hours or overnight if possible. Now, I left mine in overnight and it completely dissolved away. Now we're going to need the battery with the wires and alligator clips. Tape your red wire to your positive terminal and your black wire to your negative terminal. Make sure there's bare wire touching the post. Pull the tape nice and taut and make sure that it's connected. Alright, now we're going to need to put your zinc anode into the solution. Now, the zinc anode that I had was too short, so I connected two of them together. I also bent it so it would bend around the contour of the jar so it would fit nice and flat up against the side. Connect your positive terminal to your zinc anode, and then your negative terminal is going to be attached to your car. Alright, we're ready to put it in the zinc plating bath. So I've got my positive terminal hooked up to the zinc alloy that goes into the tank. I've got my negative terminal here, which is going to attach to the truck itself, just like you see here. And then as soon as you lower it into the bath, it's going to start working. Like here. And I'm going to use my little clothespin to hold it in place. Just like you see. We'll zoom in here. You can see that it's already working. Now please notice that on the passenger side of the vehicle, there's more bubbles than there is on the driver's side. That's because your zinc alloy is on the right-hand side of the jar. Now in this case here, you may have to rotate your car in order to get an equal plating or an even plating on this. Now, the other thing, notice the bubbles forming on the car. If you don't address this, you could have these bubbles show up when your zinc plating process is done. So what we've done here is we've introduced this real small, cheap aquarium pump here to introduce bubbles, to get rid of the bubbles that are forming on the car. So we're going to plug that in now. There you go. And you may have to adjust it here and there. Just like you see there. And that will keep the bubbles forming on the car. Now, the bath itself should take anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. You're going to have to watch it and monitor it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also click on the little bell to be alerted to any future videos we have. All right, we'll check back with you in a few minutes. Please notice how I've rotated the car around. The electrode is now facing the driver's side of the vehicle, but you can also look and see that the body of the car is starting to get a gray coat to it. This is your zinc plating. One of the other things that can be done if you want to is I've got the one electrode over here on the right hand side of the jar. You can also make a second electrode to put on the opposite side of the jar and work them with the wire in between to connect them. That way there, they'll be plating both sides of the car at the same time and get a more even coat. Just something to throw out there at you. We've gotten the car out of the zinc plating bath. Notice the gray color all around. Now this is only pretty much one coat. So what we can do is touch it up with some steel wool or a brass brush. You kind of don't want to use a steel brush at this point because it's very aggressive, but polish it on down roughly, and then if it looks like you need some more coats, then go ahead and coat it again. But that's pretty much what you have to do. Let's go ahead and buff it out a little bit and see what we got. Now you don't want to do this too hard because you can actually remove the zinc plating that you just put on. And that's just with a little bit of buff in there. So you can go in and do this and get a really super nice finish on your vehicle. Let's do the roof just a little bit. Look at that. And that's just that little tiny bit. Now again, you can recoat this a few more times and get a little bit bigger or thicker layer on there and make it look really nice. Well, that's pretty much it to zinc plating, folks. I hope you learned something today. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. I appreciate you subscribing to the page, and we'll see you again soon on the next episode of Diecast Graveyard. This is Paul. You have a great day.